The Masjid Toronto Mosque is having an open house today to show what a peace-loving house of worship it is. Just one hitch, however. The Masjid Toronto Mosque was in the news recently for some sermons that were, well, less than peaceful. Namely, an imam had this to say, quote, "O Allah, give victory to Islam and raise the standing of the Muslims and humiliate the polytheism and polythesis, infidels and the atheists, and destroy anyone who killed Muslims. Count their number, slay them one by one, and spare not one of them. O Allah, purify Al-Aqsa Mosque from the filth of the Jews," end quote. Slaying infidels one by one, Jews being filthy, it doesn't sound very peaceful, but let's see what the people running the Masjid Mosque have to say. I'm with Waqas Shafiq. He is a voluntary spokesman with the Masjid Toronto Mosque. Is it fair to say that this might be a measure of damage control? The mosque was in the news recently regarding some sermons where, the imam was saying death to infidels, calling Jews filthy. Can you give us an explanation of what occurred there?
So in terms of your earlier part of the question, this is, as I said, it's been planned for some period of time. It's a part of our kind of who we and what we are in terms of what we do here. So we have open doors, as I mentioned. We used to participate in Open Doors Toronto. So it's part of our part and parcel of who and what we operate, how we operate. In terms of the second part, so I think a statement was issued, and unequivocally those don't stand for who we as an organization stand for. I think it's important that we host open doors, show people who we are.
Are you saying that some of the rhetoric in that sermon that's not typical of what occurs here at the mosque?
I think it's already been mentioned that we don't stand for those values, and what we do is we want to show an integrated and modern Islam, and that is part and parcel of who we are in Canada. And I think you can see the handmade signs of people who've posted support outside. That speaks to who and what we've been contributing to here in this neighborhood, in this city and country.
Is Sharia law compatible with the Canadian Constitution, sir?
Again, I can't speak to that specifics in terms of Sharia law or not.
Well, I'm here with Jennifer, and Jennifer is a convert to Islam. Was it ever a concern to you that certainly in some Islamic republics around the world, women don't seem to have the same rights as men, the right to vote, the right to drive automobiles, the fact that they have to, be covered. Was that, as a woman, especially a woman growing up in a Western democracy, was that a concern for you at all?
It's certainly something that we know. It's something that we understand is a problem. In certain cultures, unfortunately, culture rules.
I respect Sharia law, yes, sure, but it is in the right, what is in Quran, not what they stereotypes and something which people, they do it differently, which is we don't respect them. Myself, if I found some Muslim who is not following the right path, like who spread hate, I will not respect him.
Is Sharia law compatible with Canadian law and the Canadian Constitution?
Yes.
Sharia law, it has a lot of you pay taxes. In Sharia law, you pay taxes. Actually, the Sharia law is the constitution for humanity, which was put in the days of Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him. So that is the Sharia, that's the law, how people has to follow. And a lot of foreign countries, they follow similar to the law which was put in Sharia, but unfortunately in Arabic word, they do not really follow exactly what is written. If you follow exactly what is written in Quran, that will be the best ever thing happen to the humanity.
My name is Sandra Solomon. I am ex-Muslim who lived in Saudi Arabian society governed by 100% Sharia law. Unfortunately, Sharia law, it's not leaving me. I was surprised when I found that it has followed us here to Canada. There are 3 Canadian imams on the Canadian soil calling for my execution, stating that whoever openly leave Islam and openly criticizing Islam should be executed, should be put to death.
What do you think is the ostensible policy reason for having this open house at this mosque today?
I stand for like whatever I believe, and when I openly criticize Islam, this is another way of taqiyya and deceiving people and playing the victim card. That's what it is.
Taqiyya is the concept where you're allowed to lie to non-Muslims.
لا يتخذ المؤمنين الكافرين أولياء من دون الله إلا أن تتقوا منهم تقى. This is Quran. Do not take the infidels ally without Allah unless you're doing taqiyya.
For the most part, the open house here at the mosque was a friendly affair. Quite a difference from a few weeks ago when the mosque was a target for protesters who were denouncing Islam. Now, what's interesting is almost immediately after that protest, senior elected officials denounced that protest on Twitter. Premier Kathleen Wynne tweeted, "There is no place for Islamophobia in Ontario. Thankful for those who stand with the Islamic community against hate." And not to be outdone, Mayor John Tory tweeted, "Islamophobia has no place in our city. I've visited Masjid Toronto many times and denounce all acts of hatred towards our Muslim citizens." And yet, when it became public that there were sermons here in which imams were saying death to infidels and describing Jews as filthy, well, the silence was deafening from those elected officials in terms of denouncing anything. After all, that might be considered Islamophobia. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Like what you just saw? Then click subscribe below and never miss another Rebel video.